Welcome everybody to the 2024 Palco's Horror Collection walkthrough. It's hard to believe that a year has already gone by that quickly since the last one, and I've been putting this one off a little bit. It's just so much effort walking through and discussing every piece, but it's something that I wanted to do, and I know that people want to watch it. So we're going to do the same thing as every year. I'm going to walk through every piece with the lights on. We're going to speak about the history of it a little bit, the artists who made them, what they're made of, maybe a little bit of background. Then I'll do another walkthrough at night when the lights are on. You can see the mood lighting that I've done and probably even show off some of my horror movie collection. So to those who are new, welcome to the channel. I hope you dig it. Hope there's pieces in here that you enjoy. For those returning, thanks guys. It's awesome. I'm always glad to see your comments. Talk to you on Instagram. Let me know if there's anything else even that I haven't spoken about enough in this video. Perhaps a piece that you would like another one on its own. Almost every piece does have its own video already on my channel, but I mean, I don't really go into depth on the history or speak about them. I just kind of, if you've watched my videos, just rotate it, play some music, and if there's something that you would like me to go more in depth on, let me know. Leave it down in the comments, shoot me a message on Instagram, Palco's Horror Collection, and we'll make that happen too. So yeah, thanks everybody. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get this going. Starting off the pieces, this is a custom wall-hanging Nosferatu piece done by Chuck Jarman. It's a resin piece, glass eyes. I know that the wood, he said, was sourced from his brother-in-law, who's a woodworker, and he made this coffin. I think this is the only one he's ever made that's actually a wall hanger. Really awesome piece from Chuck. He said his grandmother was pissed off too, apparently, because she thought that he stole his ring, but he assured me that he didn't. Going over this way, this is a minion from the Gate 2. This was done by Zorloza. Probably got this one about 5-6 years ago. This was from part 2, if you remember. I believe the cage in the film was more of a square setup, but this is a really cool piece. I mean, The Gate is one of my favorite 80s horror films, so it hits the spot. And then going down below that, this is another custom from Chuck Jarman. This is a Blind Dead Templar that I commissioned him to do many years ago. It's the only one that's one of one. He made a few busts afterwards, which he sold, but this was the only one he's doing of a life-size piece. Blind Dead and Texas Chainsaw Massacre are my two favorite movies, so having this is just an honor. Chuck did a really badass job on it. It's resin. You could pull the hood on and off. He even sculpted down to the chest. You could see like rib cage, bones, and stuff if you actually pull off the cloak. He really went into detail on this. Super awesome job. It has a real metal gauntlet, real sword. The skulls are not real, but who knows? Coming from Chuck. Could be. Coming over to the side a little bit, this is a Jason X 1-to-1 that was done by the Graveyard Gallery, Adam Satella. I don't know how many of these he made. I think he only said he did about 3 or 4 of them, but it is massive, super heavy, fourth seal eyes. He just did a great job. I love the blood that drips off the mask. He's just super cool guy. Reach out to him. He does great custom work. Coming down below this is another Chuck Jarman older piece. This is one of the popcorn baby clowns from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, obviously. And then Dead Nate from Creepshow. This is unfortunately the only piece in my collection. I don't know who sculpted it. I sourced the bust off of eBay many years ago, and Jeff Lehankel, Boutique Jeff, he made me these custom hands. So I figured I could just put everything together and do like a groundbreaker. Still hasn't found this cake. Moving over this way, Farmer Vincent from Motel Hell. This was picked up from a private collector who I believe actually made this himself. I saw a couple pictures and I had to reach out to him. I was like, is there any way you would sell that? And we came up with the price. And here he resides. Also had that custom Motel Hell sign made. I found a shop on Amazon that was in China. Kind of matched the movie font as close as possible, and they literally had it to me within a week. Super affordable. Great job. Back here is Jack Torrance from The Shining wall hanger. It's a silicone piece, hand punched hair, glass eyes. This was done by Tad Morris. I added the little room number key below it. And over to the side right here, Arthur Grimsdyke. This is done by Evan Para Effects. This was a custom commission. I reached out for Evan to make me probably 2 or 3 years ago. He finally finished it up this year, and man, it is so awesome. I've always wanted a Grimsdyke piece. He freaked me out as a kid watching the movies, and Evan nailed it. Alright, so I had to shut the lights off for this one just because he's extremely difficult to film behind the glass. This is an Elder Predator that was done by Chuck Jarman. Probably picked this one up about 6-7 years ago. He's a big boy. He's huge. Mixed media. He has foam latex dreads, glass eyes, porcupine quills, I believe resin body face. Just super cool piece, man. It's huge. It's awesome. I had a custom case made for it as well by my friend's father many years ago when I picked this up, just because I wanted him to be displayed on his own. It's just such a cool centerpiece. I also added LED lighting in the top that can change dimness, colors, etc., just depending on the mood I'm in, I guess. And on top of that, I also had a shoulder cannon made from, I believe, a guy that 3D printed this from Sweden. He had a shop on Etsy that I found, and really good, affordable price. So I have a power switch hidden back here behind the Jason X, which I could turn on, and it adds the lights inside the shoulder cannon too. The gun also swivels. It's on a mount, so really cool piece. Moving over to the side of the Predator is the Hunchback. This is a silicone custom done by Thomas Enos. 1-to-1, of course. Hand-punched hair, except for the wig. Glass eyes. Awesome, awesome, awesome replica. And then going down is also another Thomas Enos piece, which is the Phantom. Posable arms. This is a resin one, translucent resin. Big boy as well. This is a Candyman hook, which was made by Tony Montana. Cool take on it. It's real metal. Silicone, gore, nails, real concrete and glass base. All right, moving over to the side here, this is the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark diorama, done by Michael Perry of Grey House Studios. It's a silicone piece, customized. If you're familiar with the books, this is the artwork from the first one. It's awesome. And trying to squeeze down here, easier said than done. This is the Cat's Eye Troll from, obviously, the movie Cat's Eye. This is done from an artist in Spain. I believe his name was Antonio Ordonez. Awesome replica. Even the bells even jiggle. Fun piece. And going down here to Alien. Everybody is familiar with the chest burster. This is done by Gary Tunnicliffe of Hellraiser fame. Solid resin piece. Incredible sculpt, incredible paint job. It's awesome. So let me back up, pull out. You can see the side of the room that we've kind of discussed so far. Just a quick view. And like I said, I'll go through everything quickly at night just so you can see the mood lighting and how everything kind of flows together. Alright, this is the Excalibur chainsaw from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, done by Neil Oliver of Chainsaw Graphics. It is piece by piece, screen accurate from the saw that Leatherface used in Texas Chainsaw 3. It is fully functional. Heavy. Thing is freaking huge. We can step back a little bit just to show you how long the blade is on that bad boy. It's awesome, man. Chromed out, fully chromed out, just badass piece. I'm super happy I was actually able to get one of these from him before he retired them. And going this way, this is Paul Toombs from Madhouse, Vincent Price. Thomas Enos, translucent resin piece. This is a half body with posable arms. I actually built legs for him, and I had him displayed standing up. But in order to save some room, I've removed the legs temporarily until I rearrange stuff. But he does fit really well here in this nook. This is the Hollywood Collectibles Group Queen Alien. The wall hanger, massive resin piece. I forget what number this was out of the run. It was a fairly low one though. I picked up from another seller, personal collector. Okay, moving over to the side of that, this is a one-to-one David from The Lost Boys. It is a silicone piece with hand-punched hair, fourth seal eyes. This is from Tad Morris in the UK, but it's actually a recast from Bobby Cowsey's piece. Bobby is the original sculptor. Really cool piece. I wish I had Bobby's, his original. All right, then coming down here, this is Grandpa from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. This is actually made from the screen-used cast done by Peyton Patron. He only made a couple of these. I was lucky enough to pick one up from him. And then coming down here is Dr. Hill's Severed Head from Reanimator. This is a Monty Ward piece. He retired this one a while back. Translucent resin. One of my favorite movies. Lovecraft adaptations. And I'll pull back just so you can see this area. And then over. You are being watched, by the way. Coming back to this side, if we go down, everybody's going to recognize this guy. This is the Tar Man from Return of the Living Dead. This is another Michael Perry Grey House Studios piece. This was the original one-to-one figure that he made. If you notice the sculpt of the face, it's much more organic. Michael secretly made me this one before he actually had the license to start making them. So this one, the drips, everything is just much more organic. And I kind of dig it more, honestly. I mean, it's not exactly screen accurate, but it just, I don't know. I like the feel of it. He even added, I requested lights to the base. It's got the concrete floor, and I could change the mood lighting. Just get up on the details, really gnarly. Moving over here is my one-to-one Tall Man, sculpted by Jonathan Fuller. I originally had his old sculpt of the head. He did a re-sculpt, a new one. I replaced it with this. There's a video in my library if you want to look back through my videos and see how I made this. It's a latex head, hand-punched hair, fourth seal eyes. John did an incredible job on the likeness of Angus Scrimm. I love it. And I've always been such a huge fan. I wanted a life-size figure. Haven't seen too many out there in the wild, so I figured I would just make one myself. I had some help getting the hands made from my buddy Evan Para. And then another Michael Perry piece, Grey House Studios. It's a silicone wall hanger. Dude, it's just gnarly. And moving over to the left of him is a Thomas Enos child catcher from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I think this is probably the favorite piece in my collection, just how obscure it really is. And thinking about the nightmares that he gave me as a child. 2 Sentinel Spheres from Nightmares Unlimited. And I'm going to open up this cabinet below. Okay, this is a Vlad Dracula bust from David Halstead of the UK. Silicone, hand-punched hair, custom eyes. It's a really cool concept piece. He knocked this out of the park. Moving down is a Part 4 Jason Voorhees from Chuck Jarman. Bump in the Night Productions. This is a resin piece with custom eyes. And then we have a Scareware Freddy Krueger. Resin. And I believe I picked up this glove back in the day from Nightmare Gloves. It's real metal. Moving over here, this is Dr. Channard from Hellraiser 2. Silicone piece from Hellbound Busts. I believe he's from the UK. And above that is the Surgeon from Deluded Concepts. It's a resin piece. To the Mike Effects Angelique from Hellraiser 4. And then going up to the Howard S. pinhead with the lament configuration. The only other piece at this side of the room I haven't discussed yet is the one-to-one Slimer from NECA. Big boy. I think, from what my understanding is this was actually cast from a screen-used mold as well. And then backing up, we can see this side of the room. Moving along, this is the NECA Gremlin green stunt puppet that they put out many years ago. I believe they are re-releasing this line again, so now would be the time to pick one up if you're interested. One-to-one, life-size, and it is made of latex. Going up above that is Talos from Jason and the Argonauts. This is the original one, sculpted by Neil Vickers of Creator Works. I believe he sold the mold over to Blackheart Studios, which sells them now, but this is the one directly from Neil, stamped on the bottom. I don't know how many he personally made, but it's really cool. It shows some scenes from the movie on the sides and the back. I can't get to it right now, but although not a horror movie, it is definitely a character that scared the hell out of me as a kid. And then Twilight Zone, of course. These were gifted to me from my sister for one Christmas, and I sent them out to Evan Para to have retro painted, just to kind of match the monochromatic style of the old show. And then this is a Thomas Enos piece over here, Otis Driftwood from the Devil's Rejects. It's actually signed on the back too by Bill Moseley. Translucent resin, glass eyes. It is awesome. And then just some Lovecraft art because I'm a Lovecraft nut. And then over here, this is obviously Leatherface, 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This was originally sculpted by Jonathan Fuller. This was the one picked up though by Creation X after John sold the mold over to him. Latex piece, glass eyes, added a gore hammer next to him just for a little fun. And then below that is the Part 7 Jason Voorhees done by Steve Bellamy of the Devil's Latex. And pulling back over this way, this guy needs no introduction. That's the Norse spider from John Carpenter's The Thing. This is a latex piece I picked up from a seller on Etsy. His name is Red Devil Props. It's a latex piece. The legs, I should say, are posable, any position you want. Figured this was a cool spot for him. So I'll back up and just show this side of the room. Sitting below the Excalibur chainsaw blade is the Nosferatu piece put out by Blackheart. And panning back a hair, this is a one-to-one Rudy from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This was an old Chuck Jarman piece. I believe he still sells these. A friend of mine 3D printed the gun for me. I sanded it down and repainted it myself. And then going below is the Creepshow ticket booth, done by Donnie McCurry of, I think, Monster Man 37 is his Instagram. I believe he stopped making this run. You might want to reach out to him to see if he still does them. It's a cool piece. If you're a huge fan of Creepshow, as I am, it is completely worth it. Over to the center booth in the middle of the room. This is a Grandpa from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. This is actually pulled directly from the screen-used mold. The hands, face, everything. I added the tie and the old weathered clothing myself just to give it a little more flair. This was done by Peyton Patrone. I don't think he made too many. As far as I know, the only other person that has one is Tom Savini. There might be a couple more floating out there. Going below is the Nightmares Unlimited Reanimator Reagent and Serum. There's a black light in there that actually allows it to glow. a minion from the Gate 1. This was gifted to me from my sister for Christmas. No, actually my birthday one year. I think she picked this up from Andraculoid. And then this is a Lament configuration from JK Custom Concepts. I have it on a rotating mechanism right there. You can actually pull out the top, and it has the chain, so if you turn it upside down, you could display it as well with the chains hanging out of it. Great looking piece, leather, resin blood, and then a hand in the background, obviously from the Gate. Judd Crandall from Pet Cemetery. It's a Suckface Studios piece. Translucent resin, custom eyes, beautiful sculpt. And then everybody knows this one, right? Vincent Price, of course. The Abominable Dr. Phibes. This is by Evan Para. Moving below. Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. This is by Chuck Jarman. Actually signed by the director and actor. A mini Lovecraft bust that my buddy Billy Crash gifted me. I sent out to Evan Para to have him repaint it. Came out awesome. And then finally a Chuck Jarman bub. His first run, including the hand eating a brain. Let me back up. And then last but certainly not least is this one-to-one Leprechaun, done by creator Horror Maker Chile. He's a new and upcoming artist from Chile. Does super great work. You can pose him any way you want. The joints are articulated. I added the pot of gold. All right, so mid-filming that, my phone's memory card got full, so I had to edit together some stuff, delete some crap, but hey, I guess we're back in business. I'm going to take a quick pause. We're going to run upstairs, go through some of my horror movies super quick, and then I'm going to show the room at nighttime, and that'll be it. So let's run up real quick. So a really quick rundown of my movie collection. A little backstory, I've been collecting horror movies for close to 30 years. It started when I was a teenager, not old enough to buy them. I was rejected from buying Headless Eyes on VHS from a rental store in town that was going out of business. So when I finally obtained it, that basically kind of turned into an obsession. I've watched over, I would say probably easily over 3,000 horror movies in my time. I currently own a couple thousand horror movies. This is part of the VHS portion. I'm going to run over, take a pause, show another stack. And this is just another stack of mixed stuff, VHS, DVD. It goes back a few different layers. This the top shelf is some of the really gory stuff, foreign films, snuff crap. One of these days I plan on actually alphabetizing everything and getting proper shelving so I could see everything, have it displayed properly, but until that day, there is a method to my madness. I do kind of know where everything is. Let me run over to one more stack on the other side of the room. Just layers of crap. 30 years of collecting. It's kind of ridiculous at some point, you know. People are like, oh, but you know, how many times are you going to watch these films? Well, I don't know. I mean, I've watched them once. That's the scary thing. I've watched every single movie in this collection at least once. So that's, I mean, you do the math. It's a lot of hours. Alright, that's the last of it. But hey, I'm going to put this on pause again. I'm going to wait for it to get dark outside. I'll turn on the mood lighting inside the horror room. I'll do a final walkthrough. And that will conclude the 2024 Palco's Horror Collection tour. there you have it. Another year, another horror walkthrough. If you've managed to stick around through the entirety of this video, I commend you. You are actually as crazy as I am. So thanks for giving me the watch. Thanks for giving me your time. Any questions, comments, leave them down below in the comment. I do read every single one. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Palco's Horror Collection. Simple enough to find me. And once again, thanks everybody, and I'll see you next year.